Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Porch Talk. This is episode 25. We want to welcome on two very special guests with us tonight. Tonight we have Neil Rasnake, head coach of Council Varsity Girls basketball team. And we also want to introduce his daughter, class 2026 guard from Council High School, Ella Rasnake. Ella this year averaged 20 points per game, 5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 2 steals per game. So thank both of you for coming on.
Thank you guys for having us on.
Just coming off the last game of the season, rough loss to Chohally.
Yep.
First of all, since it was Chohally, talk that in honor of our buddy Travis. How was that gym playing over there? It does look like a pretty compact place, and I think he was right when he said that's the last place that doesn't have chairs to sit in. I think I noticed that because I tuned into y'all's game on the NFHS thing. So was it weird sitting on a regular bench?
It was definitely different. The gym, it just felt so small, and just shooting in there too, I was just like, this is definitely different than what I'm used to.
Yeah, it's one of the more, I guess it's got to be one of the oldest, but I hadn't thought about that until he mentioned it about the chairs. I think it's an odd fact to throw out there that you don't think about a lot, but sitting on the bleachers still is just kind of a weird thing you don't do anymore. So I just wanted to bring that up real quick. But you had a great season. We'll go back a little farther and start a little younger. Growing up, I guess when you obviously love it, when did you really kind of go, all in and realize it was something you wanted to work this hard on?
Obviously I've loved it my whole life. I've been around it my whole life, but really my 8th grade year, the first year of JV, I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to play in college. And so that's when I really took it even more seriously.
Yeah, growing up, I know you had to watch your dad play quite a bit. Just speak on that a little bit. Traveling with him to some of these tournaments and stuff that he did, and also after that, Neil, just what it meant to you for her to go with you and start kind of picking up on things.
Yeah, I mean, I've been around basketball my whole life, and getting to watch him play and learning stuff from him has been amazing, and still learning stuff from him every day is awesome.
Yeah, and I guess me being the only child growing up, and then, to have Ella as my daughter and to get to teach her the things that, I necessarily growing up, I love the game from as long as I can remember. And, now that I'm older and I've, got to play a lot of basketball. So anything I can help her with and teach her and try to help her reach her goals it means the world to me.
I spent a whole lot of time of my childhood traveling with Dad and the Blankenlesters, as people call them, watching them play every weekend and stuff, and had a lot of fun doing it. Did you take away anything from watching independent tournaments that you think you might not have taken away, Ella? Like, if you hadn't got to watch that, is there anything maybe you picked up on that just from watching that you maybe wouldn't have?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's how I learn a lot of stuff, is just watching other people play. So it's definitely where I picked up a lot of my stuff.
Yeah, I remember thinking when I was growing up that one thing I picked up from just watching that compared to watching a regular high school game is just how much more physical you had to be, because people just didn't care. And I think for some reason, it almost made you realize too that it was people can get into it here and there, and it doesn't mean you're gonna fight. It just means you're getting into it. Things will be okay. Go on the next play. Because you see people go at it sometimes in these high school games you're watching growing up or on TV, and they're arguing and fighting, and most times they actually do get into it, and it becomes more you can get into it with somebody in one of them independent games, and next time down the floor, you're buddies again. So that's one thing I picked up on early, was realizing that it's not as it's okay to be competitive like that and stuff like that. But going back, like you said, going to be younger, did you play on any kind of travel ball when you were young, or what? How did that work?
No, I didn't actually. I just played school ball, and that was really it when I was younger.
Just to touch on that a little bit, I felt I'm a big, or I'm big on, at an early age, more skill work and fundamental work instead of just playing all the time. I think playing all the time at an early age, you don't have enough time to fully develop. It's just for instance, is I didn't let Ella start shooting past 15 feet until she was going into her JV season, just because you see a lot of kids, younger kids especially, all they do is play. They develop bad habits, especially in the shooting. And, we all know if you develop bad habits, it's really hard to break once you get older. So, I kept her in about 15 feet as far as I let her go out until she was entering JV. We just focused a lot on just individual skill work at an early age in elementary. And now, the past 2 years, we've started traveling a little bit. This summer, she's going to travel a lot more.
I've been saying for a long time, kind of as a joke, but not really, that it should be against the law to be able to shoot from a certain range until you're a certain age. Because me and Dad have talked about that for years, about some of these kids, how it just ruins their shot. Well, all they want to do is shoot threes, and they barely can get it up there. So I think that's a great thing. You kept to that, and made sure you stuck with it.
Mark, when he was on, he mentioned that there's benefits to travel ball, but sometimes it's come at a cost of individual work. A lot of kids don't get that opportunity, or they don't see it as a priority.
Yeah, I think you got to have a balance. At a younger age, I think it needs to be more of skill than playing. But as you get older and grow, I think you got to still have a balance. You still got to have skill work, and you got to be able, and you got to play some.
Ella, growing up, we've been talking a lot about your childhood, but I did want to ask you: did you have any athletes, locally or even professionally, that you looked up to?
LeBron. Yeah.
Pretty
Honestly,
good.
I watch so much basketball and still do, and so just watching them, I just look up to them, no matter who it is. Just because I know that they've put in so much time and so much work, and I respect them for that.
So it's obviously you've put in a whole lot of time and work yourself. It's obvious. Was that I guess this is a question for both of you. You obviously have to want to do that, but was it hard to, I guess, for you? Well, how did y'all figure out, I guess, a routine between doing all this stuff you got going on as a young kid? But I mean, it's obviously nice to be able to have the gym over there to go to. But like, I guess, how did you put that routine together, and how did you decide how many, I guess, what to work on throughout the week? And just because I've seen, your ball handling routine, your shooting routine and stuff. Is that something y'all kind of just have developed as you went along on these some of these workouts y'all do, or is it just something that you just kind of change it up every year or every night, I guess I should say?
We kind of do, like with Ella, like I said, what I want to do for her is give her a foundation of, and I want her to understand that whatever it is you do in life, if you're going to be successful at it, it's got to be, you got to put work into it. And, you know, like I said earlier, growing up, I just knew I loved the game. I didn't have anybody to guide me and say, hey, let's work on this today, or let's do this. You know, I would just go out in my driveway and I would, you know, shoot all day. But what I wanted to do with her is, you know, I wanted to pass on to her what I've learned and give her some kind of structure, because that's the way you build your skill. And like, you know, I give her that foundation, and she is, you know, did tremendous with it. I mean, it's unbelievable, her work ethic. That's what I tell everybody. Her work ethic is what sets her apart from everybody else. And whatever she does in life, that will, you know, take her far, you know, whether it's in her job or if it's in her sports, your work ethic will set you apart. Just because, like I said, you know, I've been there, you know, I played at the next level, and, you know, I wasn't, you know, blessed with extreme height. I wasn't, you know, athletically extremely blessed. But what I found out is once I got to the next level, everybody is talented. Now you got to find something that sets you apart. And, you know, I said, I'm just going to outwork everybody. So I wanted to pass that on to her. And like I said, she has did tremendous with it.
I guess Mark said it best on his episode. There's a bare minimum that you can do, and you'll be a good player. And that's, you know, that's fine. If that's what people want. Like, you know, a lot of people don't. You don't have to love it to put that much time into it. You know, but if you want to get to a certain level, you have to go beyond this bare minimum of things, you know, that's required. And even then, you do a little more than what you probably think you're doing. But we'll talk about y'all's season. Talk about how this season went, and some things you think you can build on taking into next year.
This season was definitely, you know, it was a good season, and I think just we need to keep building on, you know, we lose 3 seniors, so just having the younger ones really step up and take on some of those roles. But overall, this season has been a really good season.
Yeah, this is your first regional berth since 2019 that y'all had, and just 3 seniors.
Yeah, we'll have four starters returning. So definitely that's always a plus. You know, we got a couple freshmen that if they will put some work into it in the off season, they can really step up and help us. But yeah, going into next year, like I said, I think we will be even better with another off season of work. But we're looking forward to it.
I'm gonna, you know, well, we're going to have Neil on for his thing, but this is related more of a coaching question. But Neil, just real quick, and then we can get back to Ella. But the difference, what's the biggest difference for you in coaching boys and girls basketball?
The biggest difference, this is my 3rd year coaching girls, and honestly, probably a few years ago, if you had asked me if I'd ever coached girls basketball, I would have said no, I'll never coach. But I got back into it, and honestly, the biggest difference is girls listen a lot better than boys. Boys already know it all; they've already got it figured out. But that's the biggest difference that I've found in 3 years. You got it. I'm still learning how to handle girls. It's a little different how you can talk to them or, you know, handle them. But overall, I enjoy coaching both of them. I just enjoy what I do, and it's like I said, to get a coach Ella, that's a true blessing in itself to get to coach your own kid. It's hard at times. I'm sure she'd tell you the same, to separate, you know, dad and coach, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, and that was actually going to be one of my questions for Ella is just playing under your dad. Just how is it playing? We've actually had a lot of coaches, kids, and stuff that's been on between Jonah and Jalen Hart and all them. So it's interesting to hear everybody's perspective.
It can be a little difficult at times, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Because even when I'm not at the gym, he's teaching me stuff, wherever we are. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Something we've been doing with a lot of the former players, and I know we've kind of somewhat done it already, but I did want you to have an opportunity if you wanted to shout out any of your teammates.
Definitely our 3 seniors. They've been so good to me, and me coming on to varsity last year, they just took me right in, and they showed me things that they had seen because they're veterans, and so I really just appreciate them for being so good to me.
I just wanted to point out, Cameron, I don't know if you know this or not, but Ella is the best player in her family. I want to make sure we say that.
That's the truth.
Yeah, have a brother, well, 2 brothers, obviously, but one in particular. Give him a shout out, Josh. But I'm going to give Elle the nod here and say that just like in my family, the girl is the better player. But I told him I would make sure I talked about him when we brought her on. But the leading up to that, with kind of like you have him, what both your brothers played, and obviously Neil's. Everybody knows how good Neil is and was back in the day. But having all that, and to help, I guess, look up to or push you on top of playing at a place like Council, where it's such a storied basketball, tradition and stuff like that. What was that, when coming into varsity that, not knowing the history, like you probably knew it, what was that like, putting on that jersey and knowing that, what had come before you and what you kind of representing?
Every time I put on that jersey, I'm representing Council, and just all the people that's played before me, and it's just really special. So
I know that your scoring gets talked about a lot, and which is well deserved. You're averaging 20 points per game. But I also wanted to kind of talk about your defensive skills because you're averaging 2 steals per game. So just talk on that.
Every game, it's just I try to play as hard as I possibly can, like it's my last game, and defense especially, it's just effort, really. So just putting in 110% effort every play.
Talk about that. I think that's one of defensively. I think that is one of the things that as usual, a lot of times it goes unseen. But she is a very good on-ball defender. But I think her as a help defender, she is very smart. Like I said, her basketball IQ, and I guess it's where she's been around it so much. But as a help defender, she knows where she's supposed to be, and that's what I use her as a lot as a help defender. A lot of times I do use her as an on-ball defender, but I think that her on the defensive side, I think is very, very underrated or goes unseen a lot.
Something that I know this is a little bit off, but I saw y'all's videos and stuff on Twitter, and something that I've noticed that you do, and not a lot of coaches I've seen do it, but you also like share like her stuff with a lot of the. Are those like college coaches or are those like AU coaches that you share stuff with?
A lot of it is. Scouting services.
Okay.
Some of it's colleges. Until we'll start probably tagging more schools as far as starting this spring. But a lot of those is, like I said, scouting services, AAU teams. So we're in the process right now. She's trying to decide which AAU team she's going to travel with this summer, spring and summer. So this is, this will be her first really full season of playing, on a circuit, so to say. So, but yeah, those places we tag is mainly right now is just scouting services and different AAU teams.
I thought it's a good benefit to have that tool, opposed to, I'm sure when you was growing up, it was, you couldn't just tag scouts and stuff on there.
Yeah, that's what I said. When I was growing up, I would hate to say how many VHS tapes I sent out to schools, and now you can't even get a VCR. So it's definitely a different time.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine having all the social media and which is obviously a good thing at times in recruiting tools and stuff like that. But all the other stuff, I'm glad I didn't have that when I was playing. The only thing we had to worry about was the latest argument on Virginia Preps. Yeah. And honestly, I don't think I even found out about that until I was like a junior or senior. Somebody told me about it, and our dial-up internet, you could barely get on long enough to read anything. So I wasn't so much involved with it, but I knew people who did, and I got to log on and kind of keep up and read some stuff. But it was always a lot of fun reading it. But yeah, the whole social media thing just obviously, like I said, benefit and negative stuff with it, but it's a whole new world now as far as exposure and who can see you, and that's got good things that come along with it. Like I said, negative things, but yeah, you're in a. It's just I think the best thing about it is you can be seen by, you don't have to, like Neil said, go through all the trouble of getting these tapes and mailing them. Lord, God knows how long it takes to mail a tape somewhere. I mean, that's now you click a button and you're available. Yeah. So that's a great thing. But as far as you're talking about deciding where you're going to play this spring and summer, will that be for one of the Virginia teams, or is that something you can talk about? Or
we're trying to decide between there's 3 or 4 different teams. We're just trying to see where the best fit is. It's we got the team out of Richmond. It's on the Under Armour circuit. Team out of Virginia Beach is on the Adidas circuit, and we had went to Kentucky and Louisville and Cincinnati a couple times back in the fall and worked out with them, but I don't think that they're on the Nike circuit, Kentucky Premier, but I don't think it's going to work out with them. But we got to make a decision here within the next couple of weeks, probably, because they start filling their rosters up. But we're going to leave it up to her where she feels like the best fit for her is going to be.
Yeah. I think that's awesome. I couldn't. I mean, that was, I don't know when this kind of started. I know the first time I really remember hearing about it a whole lot was when the Tennessee Travelers thing, but this is so much more than that now. I guess probably when McClung and all them really started playing for some of them teams, when I really started hearing about it being a lot. But I think it's great. I think it's a great opportunity for, players around here that wouldn't otherwise get that exposure to, not only to recruits, but to tougher competition that, make it better. I think it's a great thing. And, I'm looking forward to seeing what you decide and keeping up with it and following along.
I had read in the paper, you talked about after your last game, just one of the areas of focus going into this off season was also strength training and stuff, just getting stronger, some things you plan on doing this off season to improve in that area.
I'm definitely gonna hit the weight room really hard. I think that's one of my biggest things is just getting stronger. So definitely the weight room.
I guess we're about getting towards the wrapping up point, but I for sure wanted to mention, and I mean it's just bragging on her a little bit more, but off the court, I've seen a few things that she does in the community also. So we'll give you props for what you're doing on the court, but also I think we got to recognize the stuff you're doing off the court as well, which is just as big as an important thing as that. So just wanted to recognize you for that. No, I don't know all the details, but I know you do reach out and do things in the council community. So shout out to you for that. I think it's great. You're obviously a great kid and humble and stuff. So, but I want to make sure we touched on that before we moved on. Pre-game routine you have? Any kind of superstition, and what do you listen to if you listen to anything before the game?
So I have to wear a certain color socks. I have to wear black socks, or it depends. Sometimes black, sometimes white. It depends how I play the game before. Then I have to do the same stretches for every game. Music, it just depends. But the socks is the biggest thing.
The true hooper answer is what that is. If you're not really in it unless you got some weird superstition. I think that you have to have something.
We ain't gonna hold y'all up any longer. We got kind of a late start tonight, but something we always end with, and we ask everybody. It's one of our favorite questions. Just motivation wise, just something you carry with you, something you play with out there.
Really, I'm just thankful that God allows me to play this amazing sport, and there's so many younger kids who look up to me, and really just trying to be a role model for them. It's just something that really motivates me, and just all the people supporting me. I'm just playing for them, honestly. So
I can't believe we forgot to mention this. She does a free camp for, I guess, is it middle school, elementary kids council? Does a free camp every year, skills camp. So, I mean, what high schoolers of, Cameron, back in your day that were actually doing camps themselves? Like I think that's another cool thing. Like I said, talking about all the stuff you're doing off the court that we wanted to give you props on. But I forgot about that until you mentioned younger kids. I'll say this, and I'll go back to Cameron before we get you out of here. But I just wish you the best, best of luck and everything. Your AU season, or I'm assuming you're not going to be doing track probably with that AU schedule you're probably going to have. But if you do, good luck in it. And till next season, we looking forward to seeing you over the summer and keeping up.
Thank you very much.
And just to echo what he said, yeah, we appreciate you all coming on, and it's been a pleasure getting to watch you this year. And I think you have a lot of promise going forward, and we're excited to see what you do. And Neil, we hope to have you on again here soon. But again, both of y'all, thank you so much for coming on.
We appreciate you guys. You keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job.
I can't wait to get Neil. We're going to have a talk about some stories we can tell if we really wanted to sit and talk about some Black Diamond stories. I feel like we might have to do a 2-parter or something for you.
Yeah, it'll take a while. All right, thank you guys.
He was talking about getting out and shooting in his driveway. My dad used to work for United, driving a truck, delivering parts to like coal mine and stuff. And that route over there coming through Hayside and back up into Council and stuff. So I can't remember what that road's called, but Dad, would drive that. He said every time without fail, rain, shine, snow, and whatever, he'd go by Neil's house and they'll be out shooting every day. And I remember hearing
I've heard that from.
I remember hearing that growing up. Yeah. Dad telling me about that, and I was like, I tried to do that. I tried to make sure whether it was just that one time. When I knew it was time for Dad to come up the hill, I tried to be at the basketball court shooting because of that story. So Obviously, it didn't turn out as good. Obviously, I should have spent more time in between there, but
You're pretty
I
good.
tried. I tried to. If he thinks he talks about him, I'm gonna make sure he sees me just shooting it too. So I thought that was a funny story. Everybody you hear the Neil story is that he was always out shooting.
The first story I heard from Neil was the same exact thing. That was the funny thing. Yeah, and yeah, I'm so happy that they were able to come on. I think if times were the same, if the only thing you could do is go out and practice in the snow or in the rain, I think she'd probably be doing the same thing. Just seeing what her work ethic is and hearing from Neil and hearing from her. So yeah, I'm excited they came on. I'm excited to see what all she does in the future. Yeah, I hated that. It took us a minute to get. We had some technical difficulties, so we had to get them on there. I had to run it a little bit later, but I don't know what it was wrong with their. I think every time we hop on our system that we got here, something new. It's like a curveball every time. We gotta figure it out.
The first problem we ran into tonight was somebody wouldn't wake up.
I wasn't
get ready in
that
time. I'll say it.
Yeah.
You got people laying down on job, not taking things serious, sleeping right before they get on here. My bad. I thought about that earlier. It was probably around 7:30. I felt myself, my eyes get a little heavy, and I was like, I need to make sure that I stay awake because we got a podcast tonight. And whatever I was watching, I was like, I'll be fine. I'll get up and go get something to drink. So I went up and got me a pop and sit down. When you called me and woke me up, the pop was literally, I don't know that I took a drink out of it, was sitting right beside me. So that didn't do me any good at all. As soon as I sit back down, I fell asleep.
I think that's probably how I'll be after this episode will be out. Well, before we go any further, tell your sponsors. First one is Wyatt pole holders. If you have fishing poles that you'd like to display safely on the wall or just need a way to get them off the floor, Wyatt pole holders has what you need. Sold on Etsy, has a nice selection of fishing racks to fit your needs. Pine, oak, and poplar are just some of the wood used to craft these beautiful racks. Gravings are also available upon request. Oh, you're good.
If you live in Southwest Virginia or anywhere around here, Eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, anywhere around the area,
around Virginia,
around the two Virginias.
Well, depending on what you're willing to pay,
the tri-state area,
he might travel a few states over if you're willing to pay.
They will deliver to you. Yeah. They'll bring it. Cantrell Holdings Equipment Rentals has excavators, backhoes, loaders, and jackhammers available. It's starting to get that time. Today was nice weather out today, so it's starting to get warmed up a little bit. There's still some cold days ahead, but you need to start thinking and planning out your projects. Best way to do that is to get with them and see what they got available, so you'll know that it's Cantrell Holdings Equipment Rentals. Give them a like on Facebook and learn more about their operating services. That was terrible ad read. I'm sorry, my bad.
That's all right. I think we both had a long day today. I've been struggling. It's been a long week. I apologize for not getting out any clips from last week. I had actually made a few, and the system we use is actually I just say they're updating, like they're improving with their editing and stuff. But I think it changes every time I get on. So right now, I had a few clips made from last week, but then there were some issues with them that I just needed to go back, and then work came and things got a little busy, so I was unable to get any clips out from last week. I apologize for that. Going forward this week, we'll get some out. But yeah, it's been a rough week. I don't talk about my job on here or anything like that, but we did have somebody passed away at work today, so just prayers there. I know it's not spoken on here, but unspoken, just some prayers if y'all don't care. And we're gonna try to get this one out, and then I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll try to get this done and edited and stuff, and try to get the episode out tomorrow. So, but enough of me wasting. Go ahead. Give us a brief preview of what we're looking at so far in the region tournaments.
Well, in 1A girls, East Side beat Chilhowie. So they moved on to the semifinals tomorrow night, or tomorrow day, I guess, at 4 o'clock. You had Rural Retreat beat Twin Valley, and they'll play East Side in the semis. Then on the bottom half of the bracket, you had Honaker beating Burton, and Rye Cove, the number 3 seed out of the Cumberland, upsetting Grundy, which somebody predicted. And
you made a lot of predictions on this.
And they'll be in the semifinals. It'll be Rye Cove and Honaker. I mean, we can pick. I think we're at a point now we can kind of pick them and do some projections. But if you want, or we can just not do it. It's up to you. But
no, I mean it's fine. I mean,
okay, I mean, I don't think it's going out on a ledge to say it looks like a, it could be a possible Honaker East Side matchup in the finals. Neither is a given thing. Obviously, they'll both have to play well to win. But I think that would be the betting favorites if we did odds. If we were a sports book, those would be the 2 favorites, and I think that would be a great matchup between 2 great teams. So, obviously, I'm biased towards East Side's girls. Like, I have a family member that helps coach there, so that's my only bias. Really is towards them. So I'm not going to say I'm not pulling for East Side to win, but hopefully there'll be good games tomorrow night over there at UVY's in the semifinals. Some good basketball played. And what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't want to overlook. I think we agree that Honaker is the favorite coming out of that region, and their matchup against Rye Cove next, they're going to be the favorite. But I do want to say that Rye Cove's had a great year. I think Coach Hood over there, and with Kaylee Lamb and that roster, I think they've played pretty well this year. They've had some good wins against Burton and against Grundy, this last one that you predicted. So I'll give you your props for that one and for the other one.
There's another one.
Yeah. But you'd be really upset at me if you found out that some of the clips I made was those predictions that I was going to put out the other day.
No.
And I couldn't get them. Well, I'd have to explain it later.
I couldn't remember if I had said that on the podcast or not. I was telling Dad the other day. I couldn't remember. Yeah, I couldn't remember for sure, but
yeah, you did.
I told somebody at work. I said I want to go down on record right now saying I said this because I didn't know if I did on here, but
you did. You said it. I didn't get to put it out.
You said Honaker's the favorite, and I think probably that they probably should be, I guess. But I don't think it should be by a lot. I think people are kind of overlooking. East Side has been a quiet, sneaky, really good team.
Well, I mean, favorite is in
to come out.
I'd probably say I would say they're the favorite probably in the region, but I would say, and that would be a slot. I mean, I don't know them and the East Side. I think we talked about it last week. I think that's going to be a heck of a matchup.
Yeah,
but just not to look over the Rye Cove game. I would if I had to pick, I would pick Honaker. I think to win, but I do want to give Rye Cove props this year, and I do think that defensively, I think they could come out motivated, and I think they could have a good showing there.
Well, that's the thing is, like, if you went by just some scores you've seen, some of East Side's wins they don't blow you away. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you just compare to the scores they had with some of the scores Honaker's had. But I think a lot of it, I think it's just East Side's style. I think they're just a good solid defensive team that sometimes will score a lot of points, sometimes they won't. They just do whatever they need to do to win. And I think they play up to competition, or sometimes possibly come down to competition. I think it'll be a good matchup between kind of two different styles. If both those teams win, we're talking about it like it's for sure thing. It's obviously not. Especially Rykov obviously can play with good competition, but coming out of that competitive Cumberland team, so Honecker will have to show up and play well to win. And honestly, who did I say? Real Retreat, is that right? Yeah, Real Retreat. That's going to be a tough game for Eastside. So like I said, neither one of them have any guarantees by any means. So for us to sit and talk about Honecker Eastside as a matchup when it ain't been played yet, we'll probably need to wait until after tomorrow night's game, I guess. But we also don't have the luxury of, we don't know when we'll be on here. We're probably not going to be back on here before Saturday. So, but I think if it comes to that, I think it'd be a very good matchup.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that I think as far as, I mean, we'll get into the boys here in a second, but I think that we mentioned it last week. I think you did. When you get out of the region, the games out on the other side. You got George with Auburn. It becomes more of a question. I think I'm not saying that Honecker or whoever comes out of the region can't win that game, or Grundy. But I think that it's a much tougher task. I think that right now, out of Eastside or Honecker girls, I think that you have a real shot of being one of those two being the state champion.
Well, that's the team that beat Eastside in the state championship last year. I think was very young, and I think they may have everybody back also. So whoever gets to that game, if that team is able to advance to get to a state championship, will have a tough test when they get there for sure, and a road to get there, obviously. But I think one of those teams does have a good chance of making it. I really do. I think there's a good chance. I don't know how it's worked out if they would play in the state semis or how the bracket laid out, but there is a good chance that if they both make it to the region championship Saturday, that there's a good chance they'll both win their next round game in the quarterfinals and make it to the state semifinals. So, we'll see how it plays out, obviously. But going to the boys, we'll just start at the top of the bracket. Eastside gets upset by Patrick Henry, and I was very, very impressed by the two brothers. Or
the Kaywood brother.
Kaywood. I almost called them Coldwood brothers. The Kaywood brothers.
Yeah.
Very impressed. That's a tough combination to deal with.
When both of them's healthy.
Yeah, they're skilled. Like shooting, has good touch on the shots, good moves. They're big kids. They're not just tall. They're not little bean poles. They're thick youngins. They're eating right. Whatever their family's feeding them, they're raising. They're doing good. But Eastside, man, they just couldn't hardly knock down enough shots. I mean, had open looks down the stretch. Patrick Henry had to play at zone, where Eastside has basically a 5-guard lineup for the majority of the game. And then even when they brought their big guy in late, they still both of them can't match up. Play a man, and maybe they wouldn't have anyway. I don't know what maybe they could match up if they wanted to. I could have foreseen them having a hard time with that small lineup Eastside had trying to play a man, but they were so by being in that zone, they did give up some good looks to Eastside, but they're late. Eastside didn't make enough of them to hold on to that lead, and Patrick Henry knocked some big shots down going down the stretch. A big three by number 0, I think it was. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm not sure what their names are, but shout out to him. Hit one in the corner, a huge shot, and then also hit some big foul shots to seal it for him. But that was a big upset. I mean, some people predicted this to happen. I don't know about everybody, but Some people
Yeah.
predicted that.
Yeah.
But then you had Chilhowie beating Hurley. So Hurley's season comes to an end.
I do want to say real quick before you get off Patrick Henry.
So
I
sorry.
saw that Tim Hayes shared this on Twitter. Said that original tournament wins in the history of Patrick Henry from 1959 through 2022, 2023, season, or before the season, was 0. They've
Oh,
never
wow.
won one. Yeah. And so this tournament alone, they've had two wins.
Wow.
So over, I think Twin Valley was the first one.
That shouldn't
And
even
then, this one.
I shouldn't have said that, but don't get me started. I went and watched the Black Diamond District tournament. I don't want to get in on some of the things that I seen down there. It's not a good time. It's just let's move on. Not talk about it. And it wasn't for anybody who gets all mad. It was nothing coaches wise at all. I think Cole, first year coach, doing what he can, the best he can. Some of the stuff actually, you know what, we'll talk about it. Some of the stuff, being from Twin Valley, I guess it bothers me more. But seeing the way some of the players were kind of their body language and the way a couple of them were just treating that game against Council as Council was mounting a comeback, it just really irritated me and rubbed me the wrong way. Kind of still just not giving off that perception of that didn't really care. Not all of them. I will say it was not all of them. You had a couple starters foul out, and I don't know any of these kids, so I mean, like I said, I may be completely wrong on some of what I'm saying, and maybe I'm misreading the situation. But it just looked like there was only a few of them that were, I don't know, that really just all in on trying to win that game, and focused like they should be and playing as hard as I could. Like I said, I might be wrong. Maybe I watched it and this was, I don't know, but I didn't like what I seen didn't like it. It wasn't. It wouldn't even have anything to do with the skill lives or the win losses. It was losses. It was purely an effort, body language, wanting to act like you want to be there. Not this one of those type of things. I'll tell you more about it in person when I see it. I don't really want to get into it on here, but not a good day to be somebody who wants the best for that team. But anyway, get off that soapbox. That's huge. That's very surprising that that's not Patrick Henry's first region win in how long did you say? Since like
1950. Well, between 1959 and 2023, they had 0.
That's. I thought they had some better teams back in the day. Now, that is wild. Like you said, now to get 2 and then one upset over a 1 seed. That's and have a good chance to get another one. Them and Chilhowie, I think when Patrick Henry's been healthy, that's in that district. I think they've had some good games.
Yeah.
So, going down to the bottom of the bracket, Honecker took care of Twin Springs pretty easily. Just too much athleticism and well, I don't want to say just athleticism, obviously, but just too much overwhelmed Twin Springs with you never could get going. Just outmatched there. Coach Webb at Twin Springs, it's just one of them. It happens to so many schools, as you go from where they were at, graduate a few players, and now you're kind of rebuilding. So, that happens pretty much everywhere at some point. Then you had Grundy and Thomas Walker. Grundy, I can't remember what the final score was. I think it was close to 20, maybe a little over 20, but it looked like it was pretty. Looked like Grundy didn't have much of a problem. So you got Grundy and Honecker in the semis. and Patrick Henry and Joe
Wow.
Howley. Yeah, Joe Howley. That could be two really good games. I don't know what to think about Joe Howley and Patrick Henry. I think it could be a toss up, really, just from what I've seen throughout the year.
I think it's going to be a very tight physical game. I feel like one that's going to go back and forth, a few runs here and there. I mean, I think all eyes are definitely going to be on the Grundy Honecker game. I mean, not taking anything away from Joe Howard and Patrick Henry. I just think that that's the matchup people are definitely talking about at the moment. But both matchups are very good games. Both of them could be neck to neck. A lot of good players on the court. I mean, it's the best time of the year.
Yeah, I think it. I think people are probably counting Grundy out of this one. I think they have a very good chance to go in and make it a very competitive game with Honecker. I think there's a few things they'll have to do in order to be there at the end with a chance to win. But I think there is a way for them to go in and do that. It will be a tough one, but there's ways. I believe with the right game plan, if they can do certain things, I believe they can. I believe they can hang right there with them. Like I said, it won't be an easy task by no means, but I think it's very possible for them to go in there and get a win. Like I said, if we were putting bets on it, probably have Honecker as a favorite. But I think it's closer than what a lot of people would think. That maybe not familiar with as familiar with maybe what Grundy's got. Yeah, it's going to be a good matchup either way, no matter who comes out of both those games. And it's going to be a good region championship game. So good luck to all those teams. 2A, honestly, I didn't really have much of a. I didn't have time to write anything down since I was sleeping before we got on here. All I know is it's the same thing we've said all year about 2A is Virginia High Graham boys. I think Lebanon might have been eliminated. Forgot Virginia High, Graham, Union, and Gate City. I think in the semis. Is that right? Do you have any other scores from girls?
Yeah. So Ridgeview beat Marion. Union beat Virginia High 63-44. Gate City girls beat Graham 49-40. Jaden Carrico in that game had 36 points, and she, if I'm not mistaken, she got her 1,000 too. She's been killing it. Like we've mentioned her a few times. Like she's had some pretty high scoring games in the 30s and 40s. So then, I won't say of course. Like it's
no. Go ahead and say it. It's of course.
Yeah. Y Central. Yeah, Y Central won.
Mark it down.
Yeah, they won 71-39 over Richlands.
They're very good.
All. Yeah, very,
very, very good. I can't wait to try to watch them play here at some point. Them Ridgeview's played them tough in the regular season. In that district, I guess it's projecting would be them and Ridgeview in the finals. I would assume. Obviously, there's no way of knowing.
Yeah, I mean Union and Gate City are both playing good too, but I'm not sure where the bracket looks like right now.
What's that bring? 4 out of all 4 teams left are out of the Mountain 7.
Yeah, I believe so.
So that tells you anything. That's all you need to know about that conference, right? District. Yeah. I think the boys. Yeah, I think the boys. I think it's 3. You got Virginia High. No, it's 2 and 2 in that one. It's Virginia High, Graham Union, and Gate City, right? That's left in the semis.
I believe so. Yeah, because Union beat Lebanon, and I know Gate City beat Marion.
Yeah.
In that one.
I think that's right, but we'll have to check. But
you had Abingdon beat Carroll County.
Well, they that was the girls, right? and the boys beat Christian. The girls beat Christiansburg. I think both of them won, didn't they? The first
The
round
girls
game?
beat Christiansburg.
Okay.
Yeah, the girls beat Christiansburg 68-32.
Yeah.
And I had I was trying to find the boys score for Virginia High. And okay, yeah. So yeah, Virginia High beat Ridgeview 75-54. They're the Virginia High defending Region 2D champs. So I was trying to find the other score for that the Graham game. But anyway, we can move on. I'm sorry to be hunting here.
Yeah, I guess I'll end up going. I'm not sure where I'm going to end up going Saturday. So what finals I'll end up going to.
It was Graham beat Central 71-56. So that was the other one.
I would love to go to the 1D finals, especially if well, I'm not sure which one I'm going to. There's a lot of good.
Yeah,
I don't want
games.
The only thing about going to watching, I'll probably have to end up at the 1D for some reason, and then I'll try to maybe go if Central wins the host. I'll try to go watch them play in the quarterfinals, maybe, or state championship, because they're probably going to go in another one. I don't know. I hope I don't jinx. I don't want to jinx them, but they're very good. I don't know what East has, but
what are you going to be able to make it to the game tomorrow night?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave right after work and and go over there. I'll probably be there just in time for. Which it might be the late game. It might be the 8:00 game or 8:30 game.
I think, if I remember
right. So I should get over there in time. So I'll drive over there tomorrow by myself because Cameron won't go with me. Everybody.
Yeah, I go to work.
Listen, don't. If you weren't working, I'd be by myself. Let's just be honest. Cameron has a full plate, and I completely understand why he can't make it. But I hate sometimes. My dad, I used to be able to convince him to go to some of these things, but I think he's caught on to some of it. He kind of he won't go to as many and that with me now as he used to. He's kind of, I don't know if I talk his ear off or if he just likes his sleep, but getting harder and harder to twist his arm. Yeah. But
I get it. Well, I mean, I guess that kind of covers the girls and boys regional games. It's in progress right now, so we have more to going forward, and we'll hopefully have an episode there next week with another guest. It's just been right now trying to fit them in. Just there's a lot of obstacles and stuff going on outside of here, trying to get everything lined up, and like I said before, they decided to quick change on the system we use, and so it's been a little bit more time consuming. But we're gonna get back on track, or I'm gonna get back on track, trying to get it going here, trying to work on some of this. Like I said, like we both had said, good luck to all the teams going forward. This is the best time of the year. A lot of good games, a lot of good talent. Just something you don't want to, unfortunately, we'll miss out on some of it, but just some games you don't want to miss out on, some athletes you don't want to miss out on, especially the ones that graduate this year.
Yeah, it is, like I said, hard time. You don't want to push to get people on. This time of year, you don't want to be too not push. You'll never push. You always ask, but I almost feel bad interrupting their schedule at this point in the year because it's playoffs, since winter go home, a lot of the stuff. So if we don't end up having anybody else on, that's probably the reason why. But maybe we can still work something out. But yeah, it's hard to try to get all these seniors. Like I hate that we just kind of figured it out late here and just kind of got into a groove, and we weren't able to get more seniors on. Because they won't have the opportunity to next year. There's been a lot of players I know we had hoped that we could have got that we probably missed out on that I hate it had to happen like that. But yeah, we're I don't know what our plans are. We know we got a special guest episode we still got to try to get done coming up soon for everybody. Remember, don't think we forgot about that one, that we're still trying to get it. But yeah, next week, if we don't get to do nothing this weekend, we'll have a lot to talk about next week with state quarterfinals coming up, all those matchups. We can talk about what it looks like their opponents out east look like. So looking forward to it, man.
Well, I mean, do you got anything else before we get off here? Or sum it up
I
for you?
didn't. Like I said, I didn't do a throwback song because I was basically asleep right before we got on here. So if we want to, we can do
Sandman for
Mr.
Sandman.
No,
Mr. Sandman.
No, I want a good song. Throwback would be I don't know. Let's
Twinkle
see.
Twinkle Little Star.
No.
I think some good lullabies.
No, it was one a country song. I could think of any
good song to fall asleep to.
No, something George. Pick any George Jones song right now. That's what we'll go with. I feel like I didn't show Jones tonight when I fell asleep.
No show
late,
Jones.
Late to my show. So
yeah, you're good. You good. I mean that. You can give an artist shout out. I mean, it's a throwback artist. So
yeah. My throwback to the shout out. No song in particular tonight, but we'll give a shout out to the Possum.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Again, thank you for Neil and Ella for coming on. Two great guests, two that we were very excited to have on. We try to fit it in here between work and stuff, and like I said, we had some technical difficulties getting started, but we got it rolling, and super grateful to have them on. And I know that we'll maybe have Ella on again because I don't see her being out of the spotlight going forward.
No, she's gonna be around for sure for a couple more years.
Guys, I guess until next week. God bless.